will probably join us. So just a bit of background, here we are getting into a bit of bush here now. It's a great thing about New Zealand, isn't it? Wherever you go, you can pretty much get into the bush within a few minutes, or get down a walkway and find a few beautiful bits of scenery, plants and trees. And New Zealand is great, and it's one of the things that really got me into herbal medicine, I guess, is the New Zealand bush and just the energy you feel when you get into it. Well, welcome along. It's probably 3 o'clock now. Some of you might be joining us. I'm Elliott, and I'm a medical herbalist. And what I'm here to do today is to just really have a conversation with you about the philosophy of herbal medicine and natural healing. And I'll just keep walking for a little while until I find a spot where we can stop. And I guess being a new year, 2019, there's going to be a few of us that are looking at what our New Year's resolutions are and things like that. And there's bound to be a few fads that come along for 2019. There's fads every year. And so one of the key things I wanted to talk about today is being fad proof. So that means basically not falling into the trap of whatever the latest trend is, and giving it a go and failing, which is apparently 80 to 90% of what happens. 80 to 90% of people actually fail with their new fad diet or exercise program or whatever it might be, and there's a reason for that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and basically the philosophy behind what we do, which is herbal medicine, and just give you a bit of a background to that as well. So let's start with herbal medicine. And you might think herbal medicine, well, it's things you find in health shops or it's just herbs and spices and things like that. Well, actually, herbal medicine, it dates back thousands of years, and it covers all the types of plants, trees, roots, berries, flowers, anything really that is, as you can see around me, that is plant-based. So most medicine originated with plants, and really the key to what we do with herbal medicine is getting back to that, because all of the healing compounds were found in plants originally, and even today most or large percentage of modern drugs are still found in the plant kingdom. So they're searching through the jungles and the forests to find new innovative drugs. Reason being is plants contain medicines. So your simple things like your opiates, your salicylates like aspirin were found in plants. Many of the analgesics and paralytics that are used in anesthesia, they were found in plants originally. A huge range, up to 25% modern drugs still today. So it's a fascinating thing. And the whole reason for that is the plants contain phytonutrients and micronutrients. And those nutrients are healing to the body. So they are like catalysts, and they fill in the gaps basically that might be existing. So the great thing with plant medicine is you literally got thousands and thousands of plant chemicals and nutrients that are found in plants that the body will use for healing. So that doesn't just include your medicinal herbs and spices, herbs that are used in herbal medicine, but also your food. So one of the key philosophies of herbal medicine is it starts with your food. So your food should be your first port of call when it comes to healing your body. Fascinating thing really, because when you think about it, the old saying, you are what you eat, and all that sort of thing is actually true. So if you eat a lot of the wrong food, obviously your body will get unwell, and even modern medicine acknowledges that. So the key point to remember there is really the plants. It's the plants that contain the medicinal compounds, it's the plants that contain the healing agents, and it's not the meat and it's not the carbohydrates. So processed food is devoid of those healing compounds. And when you look around in the bush and in the garden, you'll see basically all your body needs. And that's the fascinating thing about herbal medicine. It starts with your food, and it starts with the plants. So number one, plant-based diet. And it's been proven worldwide now that plant-based diets are the key to our biggest health epidemics in the world. If we can only just do that one thing and go plant-based, then 90% of our problems will be over. Oh, so here's a seat. Oh, I'm going to sit down for a second. Yeah, isn't it warm? Man, it's been 29 degrees. I guess it's going to get up to 30 degrees in the weekend. It's amazing. Great opportunity to get outside. But yeah, so that's the number one thing, plant-based. You can't emphasize that enough, really. And secondly, the second concept or philosophy is to keep it simple. And you might have come across, or there's lots of people advocating very, very complex kind of diets at the moment, and complicated ways of performing natural medicine. And allopathic medicine or mainstream medicine is very, very complicated and very complex. And you may have experienced it, but once you get into that system and you get into, say, a hospital or a place like that, and you start getting referred around specialists, it gets more and more complicated as it goes, and the science and the technology behind it is literally, it's like rocket science. It's very, very complicated, and that's not really what your body responds to. Now think about it. When you go on a holiday at the end of the year, you do that for one reason, really, is to give yourself a break, to relax, to de-stress, to get away from everything that's complicated. And the reason we need that is because, for that same simple reason, is our body does not respond well to complex things. We really like to keep it simple. So again, walking in the bush, going to the beach, meditating, having hot showers and baths and relaxing massage, and all those kinds of things are very, very healing. And of course, that's not provided by the health system, is it? We just don't get those simple treatments. And going back to what the first point was we made about food, is the plants, the natural ingredients that are found in food that is from nature has the most healing effect. It's really, really simple. And I think the third point that we should remember is that the body and the mind are connected. So long as we have complex thoughts or stresses in our mind, our body is going to suffer as a result. So everything we think, everything we process in our mind has an effect on our body. So that's why we kind of start with cleansing. And to be fad proof is something we talked about right in the beginning, is to be fad proof and to be sustainable. This is going to be the trend in the future. So 2019 and onwards, you'll hear this term more and more, and you'll also hear the term probably non-diet, because people are sick of failing. And the reason they fail is because it's complex, it's expensive. You can spend thousands on tests, can't you, to find out what your profile is, and what your constitution is, and you can also spend thousands with practitioners trying to get to the bottom of your health problems. Really, that's complicating things, and the answer is usually the most simple thing. And we, as a human race, we tend to think the answer needs to be complicated. Well, that's completely wrong. It's completely false. The answer is simple, the truth is simple, and healing our body should also be simple. So getting back to nature, number one thing. The other thing with the body-mind connection is to remember to keep it simple there as well. So how do we do that? Yeah, it's easier said than done, isn't it? I don't know if you've ever tried meditation, but to still your mind or to quiet your mind can be quite a challenge. So we do focus a lot on that, and we do really believe that 90%, they say 80%, I would say more like 90% is body-mind. So you can do so much with your body. You could be absolutely perfect with your diet. You could do all the right herbs and things, and if your mind is troubled, you're not going to get better. It's as simple as that. Your body will continue to suffer, and you'll fight an endless battle. So yeah, those are the key things I wanted to talk about with philosophy. For me, getting into herbal medicine was kind of a result of clearing my mind and getting into yes, meditation and healing and connecting with feelings and with the energy, and that's what led me to herbal medicine. So I challenge you, if you haven't done it already, to go into the bush, to go to the beach, to go out into nature and just to be still and be quiet and to feel what you feel around you. And you'll find pretty quickly that you'll start connecting with what's called healing energy. So that's another thing you won't get with supplements. And you will get it with herbs, but you won't get it with man-made supplements. Now, man-made supplements, you'll find the health stores are full of them. And these are complex, chemically made, synthetically made compounds. Now, contrary to what you might think, your common vitamins are mostly synthetic and man-made and made in laboratories. So, and quite often the dosages of these compounds that are in these products can actually be quite a challenge for the body, and most of them will be eliminated in urine, but people can actually overdose, and I quite often see it where you'll get people that come into the clinic and they've got 12 supplements, they've got a whole bag of supplements, and I often find that just say, hey, stop all the supplements and just go on to a cleanse, and you find that a lot of the problems start to go away. It's not that complicated. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on products or tests and analysis to work out everything. Quite simply, getting back to nature, getting back to plant-based food, including herbs instead of other synthetic supplements in your program, and you'll find your body starts healing. And I thought that's just a wonderful way of seeing things. It's Fad Proof. It's an eternal truth. And one of the things we do a lot of is detoxing, and you may have seen that when you've looked around our page, is herbal detox is another thing that's been practiced for millennia. So it's not a fad, it's something that's been around thousands of years, and it's been practiced in all the ancient arts of natural medicine. So when you do a cleanse, you're basically giving your body a holiday, and that's getting back to the idea of simplifying things and going plant-based. And I highly recommend, if you haven't done a cleanse in the last year, to do a cleanse every year is a good practice. It's a simple philosophy, really, servicing your car once a year, cleansing your body once a year. And yes, a detox diet is something that you can do short term, so over a couple of weeks. We recommend doing the detox over 2 weeks and taking the herbal supplements to help your liver and your kidneys and your bowel function a bit quicker, and elimination increases. And by doing that, you create some kind of space or rest period for your body. And if you combine that with going for walks, having long baths, getting massaged, doing lots of meditation, that sort of thing, you very, very quickly connect with the healing energy in nature. And that's what it's all about. Because the natural state, put really simply, the natural state of your body is one of perfect health. So when your bodies are given the time and the space to heal, it will heal. And there's no question about it. We just need to get out of the way. And quite simply, a lot of us get in our own way. So we mentally, emotionally, and physically put things in the way. So if you imagine, for example, an addiction, it's really common to eat the wrong thing or consume the wrong thing to kind of suppress feelings or emotions that might be challenging for us. And so rather than dealing with the feelings or the emotions that we're having, we'll tend to have an addictive behavior. And again, what we're doing is we're putting things in the way. We're complicating what goes into our body in a way to block our energy. So when you do a cleanse, what you're doing is you're getting things out of the way, and by doing that, quite simply, you allow your body's energy system to circulate the energy, and everything gets the energy that it should get, and so healing starts taking place. So you could say that that is really the simplest solution to healing the body. And I would say, from what I've seen, 90% of us, when we do a cleanse, we get very, very rapid healing. So that's a Fad Proof method, and I've been doing the detoxing now for 20 years, and I believe that this will go on forever, because I think as long as we live on this earth, we're going to have the same pattern as human beings. We're going to have stress, we're going to overindulge in the wrong things because of that, to bury our feelings and our emotions, and to kind of slow that energy down, to stop it, try and stop it, and then that will bottle up internally and cause some kind of health problem. And the moment we allow that energy to be released, we get out and we connect with nature, we clear our bodies, we connect with the healing energy of plants and with nature. And if you're spiritually inclined, then you're likely to get healing on that level as well, spiritually. So really it's the cure all, if you like, that's been around for thousands of years, and it will continue to be so as long as I can see into the future. So look out for 2019 fads, and be careful not to buy into diets that restrict or control food groups. So with a detox diet, yes, for a couple of weeks we say just have a lot of fruit and vegetables and a lot of raw food if you can, because that rapidly goes through your body, and it rapidly allows healing to take place, and reduces your acidity and your inflammation and all of that. But following that, long term, your diet should be sustainable and not a fad where you restrict food groups or you count calories, or you go into some kind of philosophy that says this is what we used to eat thousands of years ago. And because, for example, paleo, you can get paleo junk food, and so it might be paleo, but it's not really healthy, and so they're cashing in on the whole idea of paleo. And with ketosis is another one that's been quite trendy, and I think there's merit in ketosis, but you've got to watch the meat eating ketosis, which is not healthy for your body. Meat has protein, but it doesn't have all the phyto and micronutrients that come in plants, enzymes and that sort of thing, and polysaccharides and many other compounds that we need. So people that go on keto diets quite often end up missing a whole lot of nutrients, and also become quite acidic and inflamed, because meat is very acidic and it causes a lot of inflammation in your body. So you can go keto diet with vegetables and plant foods. So that means the best way to do it is to have more fatty plant foods like avocados and oil, olive oil, things like that. And you can also have a bit of coconut oil and coconut cream. That's very good fats, and just lots of fruit and vegetables. But the way to get ketosis to happen on a vegetarian diet is to do the intermittent fasting part of it, which means just eating between midday and 8 p.m. or during an 8-hour period. And that's actually really good for your nervous system, because it helps stress the nervous system a little bit. It helps with blood sugar control, and I'd say that's quite a healthy thing. And that's probably not so much a fad. But getting back to plants is the key to it, to be long term. And so once you've done a cleanse, you can start eating more nuts and beans and legumes and lentils and dal, and have all that sort of thing. And I would say, if you can get free range eggs and maybe wild caught salmon and a little bit of that kind of thing, then include that as well if you can. It's good not to go too far with being vegan, because it can be quite difficult to manage, and that can also be seen as a bit of a fad that you may start off with and then fall off the wagon. So thirdly, with that whole approach, is try to maybe not bite off more than you can chew and try to do it all at once, but do a little bit each year. So the best approach is do a cleanse once a year, maybe for 2 weeks, and then after you've done your cleanse, look at what is the one thing that you can improve on. So try improving just a little bit with one area of your diet perhaps, or maybe build in those walks or that meditation, or build in something on the body-mind level, and try and just do that one thing and cement it in, so you know, get it nailed so that you're not slipping back again. Whereas if you bite off a whole lot and you say, I'm going to absolutely quit 100% sugar, coffee, alcohol, I'm going to, you know, do all of these things, I'm going to go vegetarian, I'll go vegan, or and do it all at once, you're doomed, really. You just won't be able to do it. And if you do one thing, and maybe it is cutting out processed sugar from your diet, that's hard enough on its own, isn't it? I mean, that is a real challenge in itself for a lot of people. And instead of just focusing on cutting out sugar, focus on bringing in something really good, and really make that your focus. And then let the sugar, for example, just fall away, because that'll fall away naturally. So your new good habit might be, I'm going to have a smoothie. I'm going to have a vegetable-based smoothie 3 times a week. You know, that could be your new habit for 2019. And by doing a cleanse for a couple of weeks, maybe we have a slimming metabolic control herb program as well that lasts for a month. By the time you get through something like that, the herbs are there to just sort of keep you on track for that month. Once you get to the end of that month, you've got your new habit in concrete. It's set in stone, and you should be able to maintain that throughout the rest of the year. The only other thing we do is protein drinks, which are quite good. If it's herbal and plant-based, again, it's really good to keep it plant-based if you can. So I see the questions have been firing through. Hopefully Sarah's been able to answer some of your questions, and it's been really good to see you guys coming online and getting involved. And that's what we're here to do. We really want to be here throughout the year within the group to talk and have conversations, and also to share what we're doing as we go through the year. So you'll get little snippets from us and so on. And later this week we'll be sending out an email with what we call our Fad Proof diet, or a non-diet, which is, I guess that's the term that will be used this year a bit, is the non-diet. So you don't feel like you're restricting or, you know, limiting yourself or starving yourself or anything like that. That's the idea. So it's sustainable, and it's not a fad. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I might just start on my way back, and we'll catch up again soon, and we'll talk about a few more things. So I hope that's been helpful, maybe educational, or maybe a bit of an insight into what we do. And just remember that really it's about getting back to nature, getting back to plants, and connecting with that energy, that living energy of healing. And also really building in that body-mind stuff, because like I was saying, it's 80 to 90% of the battle is the mind and the body really integrating with each other. And what you feel in your body, what goes on in your body, really acknowledge it, and really go into it, and really allow yourself to feel that while you're doing anything with plant-based diets and herbs. Because the two things, the body, the mind, and by body we're thinking plants and herbs, and with the mind really just learning and meditating and being present and mindful. I mean, those are things everybody's talking about too, but it's another eternal truth. It's something that won't really change as the years go on, and I think we'll just become more and more aware of these things as time passes. So you know, we're here for a long time, and I guess it's important that you don't really buy into short-term fads and things that can't be sustained and can't be afforded, or too complicated and all that sort of thing. So that's the message I want to share today, and really appreciate you coming along, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon. Awesome, guys, and we'll also try to answer any questions we haven't while we've been talking later on today, and we'll post this video up so you can share it as well. Thanks, guys. Talk again soon. Bye.